Thank you for listening to the Olde Wood Show. Today we got Chris Young, the Vice President of Olde Wood Limited. And we have Joe Tuttle, our Western Regional Sales Rep that we just hired. You spent a lot of time with Chris today, and you spent some time yesterday with him before you drive back to Colorado. But, hearing you and Chris talk, I think that, one of the things that I wanted to know was when you pulled down the driveway to our facilities here in Magnolia, Ohio, Joe, what did you think you're getting yourself into? And you said, hey, we want to hire you, Joe. We want you to come back from Colorado. And we want to train you, and we want all your expertise because we know you've been in the business a while, and we were really wanting to get you to come on board with us. But what did you think when you pulled down the driveway of Olde Wood Limited?
Well, the first thing I noticed was, it's a beautiful facility. The manufacturing capabilities that you have here are some of the most top-notch facilities I've ever been around, and I've been in a lot of facilities. So you have a beautiful facility here. Your staff is attentive as I've ever seen. I've never seen a more hands-on process before, and that was invigorating to me. Awesome. To see that level of hands-on touching of the product was incredible.
We touch every board at least 30 to 40 times. And why is that? So we do that because of quality control, because there's no grading guidelines in the reclaimed flooring industry. But Olde Wood is known as a custom wide plank flooring manufacturer. So, I told you this earlier, but I want to go back over it again. Olde Wood, 60% of what we do is reclaimed and 40% is new wood. But custom finishes, custom width, custom length. And it's important to us to make sure that all the stuff that we build on the back end of this company and any of our people that work here or associate with us fully understands it, and that they can reiterate that to the consumer so that they know what they're getting when they buy an Olde Wood product. So I think it's very important, and I'm happy to hear that you enjoyed your time at Olde Wood and seeing the manufacturing process. But Chris, walking him through the facility for the first time and seeing the different things. Give me an example of a couple of the things that you spent a lot of time with Joe on.
So mostly we went through to see the process. And what I tried to make very clear was the amount of control that we have in the quality of the product. So every time that we went through a different department, I showed him how the product was touched by all the different hands. And I think that was very valuable for you, just to see.
Absolutely.
Like, to provide the value in what our product is versus our competitors. Like, that was the big thing that I wanted him to understand. The epoxy, the filling that we do of all of the material, the sanding that we do so that an installer doesn't have to spend time doing those things. The end matching, how we go through and we defect the material, all those things provide value from what we do versus our competitors. So I thought that was really important for him to understand.
Yeah, no, seeing it from a raw material to a finished product was very enlightening.
So saying that, so it's not just Billy Joe backing up a pickup truck to an old Madison 225 molder milling machine. We're just throwing some tongue and grooves on the side of a barn board. No? Okay.
No.
Well, that's good. So, one of the things that we've been talking about recently is how do we get people to understand really what we're all about at Olde Wood and why we have $6 million worth of equipment in the back and 100 people that touch this material, and how does that actually add value to the product? Because at the end of the day, if you're buying antique oak off of another competitor, or you're buying antique oak off of Olde Wood for flooring, that with the process that you just seen, that we put a lot of grading into it. We put a lot of filling into it. The process everything that we built over 23 years of being in business, we're putting into that product each and every day. And it's important to me to make sure that everybody knows what we've done over 23 years to make that product what it is today. And when people look at a photograph and say, oh my God, that floor is just gorgeous, where'd you get it? Well, that's an old wood floor. And so when I want people to think about Olde Wood, and when I want them to think about what we do, I want them to think that every floor we put out of here is a piece of art. Because in my eyes, it is a piece of art. All the equipment, the time, the grading, the epoxy filling, what Chris was saying, when they do that fill work in those boards that are 100, 200, 400 years old, it's an art form to fill that, the little cracks, the defects, the whatever.
Scrape it.
And Joe, why that's so important, because there's a lot of people selling reclaimed flooring out there. And why filling the material is so important to me is you don't want dirt jammed into the cracks of your board. You want the look of the product, but it also has to be usable, right? I mean, you have to live on Quality. So that's why it's so important to us, because when you fill that and it looks like a natural, just a natural blemish in the wood rather than an open gauging hole that Cheerios are getting stuck in or whatever, right? Olde Wood.
You eat Cheerios, huh?
Well, the kids or whatever. So, no, actually, I eat cheeseburgers and Cheerios.
There you go.
But, so, over the years, me and Chris were like, how do we make it better? How do we make this process better? How do we be better than anybody else in the industry? And I think it's so important that is announced, right? Because when you match it up to anybody else's product out there, we're at a different level. And because of how many years we've been doing it, and because of the people behind it that want to make it better each and every day and every week. We're not perfect, but we strive to be excellent at what we do, and it needs to be announced. So I'm glad you got to come in and see part of that process, and it is my passion to provide the best product, reclaimed and or new wide plank flooring available. And you also got to see the finishing aspect of how we finish the material, which is pretty good too, because it's not a mass production 150 feet a minute putting a thick coat of honey on it. I mean, there's some custom stuff going in there. How did you like the pre-finish?
The pre-finishing line was probably the most unique thing that I saw here. Yeah. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'd never seen a line where you had five different stations,
rollers,
5 different rollers going through. So you're putting 5 different, layers of sealant on this thing. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
To think of that. The other thing that really jumped out at me was, the kiln drying of the product.
Yeah.
I thought that was something I had no idea that the product had, to really, as Chris said, to make sure there's no bugs in the boards.
You never know.
You got to kiln dry.
You don't know. Right.
So I thought the kiln drying and the pre-finishing line were probably the 2 areas that stood out to me the most.
Yeah, and Chris has been a major part of the pre-finish aspect as far as the development of it over the years, and the custom colors that we now offer. Which is through the roof with custom colors, but in a good way, because let's face it, the trends change, and as those change, we at Olde Wood, we try to be, up here at the top with it. So we could take antique oak, and I think Chris has got 5,500 different colors for antique oak.
Whatever works.
But no, seriously, I mean, it works out great, yep. But it's when grays fall out of fad and blacks come in, custom colored blacks or greens or whatever, the, light browns or, what is that, 5% cotton white bled into the board.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we're capable of it here at Olde Wood. So, we're a custom wide plank flooring manufacturer, but we also do siding, we do paneling, we do timber,
Mantles.
barnwood to go, which is our DIY product, lick 'em and stick 'em. No, I'm just kidding. But literally, it is a product that has a 3M tape on the back and that you could put it on the wall. We have a lot of products at Olde Wood. We have the design center. We also have a location in Dallas, Texas. We have a location in Denver, Colorado, in the showroom design district. So we're kind of all over the country, Olde Wood Limited is. But back to the pre-finish, I agree with you, Joe, 100%. It has totally changed Olde Wood Limited. We feel like the whole market is going to pre-finish. And when we say pre-finish, to the average consumer, they don't really know what that means. They just know that they seen a hardwood floor that they really liked. And in their mind, they just think that's what I want. But most hardwood flooring manufacturers do not pre-finish. So you're actually buying the product unfinished, and then you're having an installer install, sand, and finish it on site. It just doesn't show up pre-finished. But
You're talking custom wide plank.
custom wide plank.
Yeah. Not the stuff that you can get at lumber liquidators.
Right.
That usually isn't even really wood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's, thank you for correcting me.
Pergo.
Yeah, Pergo.
Pergo.
So most custom wide plank flooring is not pre-finished, but we do here at Olde Wood. And again, Chris has created a lot of colors, a lot of design wrapped around the custom colors. The product. So basically, if you have a dream, an idea, a design, and you want it to become reality with hardwood floors, that's what Olde Wood's known for. You call us, and that's what we do.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that. So it's one thing, kind of like we talked about when we were going over colors, is that we can take any one of our floors, and if somebody likes the characteristics of the floor, the species, then we can take and put any one of our collection colors on it, or we can customize their floor for a color that they actually have. So we have people that will send us in, pieces of wood. Mm-hmm. They'll send us in color swatches of their cabinetry or their stone, and they want us to match or, create something that's going to contrast with it. And that's what we create. So,
well, it gives it that uniqueness to the product, that makes it truly yours.
Yes.
Right.
And, reiterating your point, turns it into a piece of art.
Yeah.
Versus just a,
one of a kind.
Yeah, one of a kind piece of artwork, which is pretty awesome.
We're excited. We can't wait to see what the future holds for our company and the growth and the expansion of it. And we plan on moving into other markets and just keep building our reputation and letting everybody know who we are and what we're about. And Joe, I got to tell you, I'm excited about you coming to work for Olde Wood. I really am. I think that, you with your experience being in was it stair part business? Is that what you're in?
Spent a little over 3 years in the stair parts business, but have been in the building product market for 20 plus years.
Gotcha.
So managing multiple different products from cladding, decking, stair parts. Basically started out in the industry working for McGraw-Hill Construction.
Gotcha.
So came through the media platform for construction. Mm-hmm. Worked for both McGraw-Hill Construction and Hanley Wood Business Media, and then transitioned into working for building product manufacturers.
Now, has there been a point in your career over the years where you've actually, started really low and then helped, transform that into something really big? Can you tell me a little bit about how you did that?
Yeah. So right out of Hanley Wood, when the big R hit, I was brought on board with a company called Green Screen, green facade manufacturer, living architecture.
Gotcha.
The company was basically $7.5 million company.
Yeah.
When I landed, 5 years later, doubled the business.
Wow.
Hired on 5 independent reps throughout North America, and was really instrumental in the growth of that company, developing new products for them, creating educational programs. There are some similarities to green facades and reclaimed wood, if you can believe it, because there's a huge education gap there.
Yeah.
So educating builders, designers, and architects on the benefits of utilizing living architecture was super exciting.
Yeah.
Changed the whole dynamic of the company. Gentleman that owned the company ended up selling it and doubling his money in 5 years.
And that's good to be a part of that. I mean, to get the experience, right?
Yep.
To be a part of taking a company to a higher level and experiencing the difficulty of doing that, right? So even if the market's there and you have the people to buy it, it doesn't mean you can get there, right?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, there's a lot
Yeah.
of processes
Oh, and
behind it, people behind it that actually put that together.
I mean, and it was very interesting with that technology because we would compete all the way down to chain link. You could utilize chain link
Really?
to accomplish the exact same look as well. It wouldn't be nearly as sophisticated of a system, but we would bump into chain link all the time
Yeah.
as an alternative. You can believe that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
So
That is amazing.
it was a fun product, fun company to work with.
In the stair business, the name of that company was LJ
LJ Smith.
LJ Smith.
Yep. LJ Smith Stair
And
Systems.
They're a great company, well known
Absolutely.
across the country.
Largest stair manufacturer in North America.
Yeah, and so give me some of your information about what you did there, where you took it, where did you end up at the end with them? Where did you land at?
Well, I was their Western Regional Sales Manager.
Yeah.
Had anywhere from 8 to 10 reps working for us in the West. Really, our claim to fame in the West was we developed a stair part rebate program for the 3 largest production builders in North America.
Interesting.
So we developed a program with D.R. Horton, Lennar, and KB Homes where we would offer a rebate if they used our entire system.
Gotcha.
And that became, to a certain extent, a game changer for the company.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Volume-based products, commodity-based products, but it really gave us the ability to focus on some of our commodity-based products.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
That in the market, the Western market, I mean, there's a lot of homes
Yep.
being built, and then just in Colorado alone, I mean, I know I read a while back how many new people per year was going into Colorado and how many new homes, but I think it was somewhere around, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like 8,200 new homes a year were being just in the
Correct.
Denver and
Yeah.
southern region.
Correct, which equates to three people per household. You're looking at roughly 30,000 people are coming into that market,
That is
on a yearly basis.
It's because of the marijuana.
It could be.
Like when you
Could be the weed business.
when you're on Route 70 coming off the highway, just like I
Ooh.
told you yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Don't
like
roll
you can
your windows
smell
down.
the marijuana
Don't roll your
rolling
windows
out
down.
of the area.
Is that why you don't answer the phone?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So there's been a ton of consolidation in the stair parts industry.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of happened in that industry is it's down to 3 to 4 major players in the market.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So they're kind of controlling the whole commodity home build sector.
Correct. But our real claim to fame and LJ's real niche is in their custom capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
That was really where our highest margin products were.
Yeah.
Was in that custom area.
Right.
And multiple facilities. Had a facility out of Corona, California. Had another one up in Seattle. And then we had a distribution facility out of Salt Lake City. And that was kind of how we serviced the West. Interestingly enough, they're based right here in Ohio in Bowerston. So very familiar with Canton.
Yeah. Actually, LJ Smith, I know that they own some property around here. Mm-hmm. And it's a very from what I know, it's a very good company. And, when I heard about you and I thought, well, man, I'd like that guy to come work for us one day. And then we actually got the time to talk a couple of weeks back and put this all together. I knew you had a lot of experience in the building market and the building industry. So I think it's going to be a great fit for Olde Wood Limited. I think it's going to be exciting to hit some of those markets that you're used to with our products. And I think that we also have the capability of doing more stair parts here at Olde Wood Limited, although we're not a huge manufacturer of stair parts, but we do provide stair parts for each and one of our custom wide plank floors.
Correct.
So,
Yeah,
And
I
we
think-
talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think that there's a
the pre-finished tread business is
yeah.
is ripe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think if we
he
can-
was saying the thicker, the 2-inch thick treads are very, very hot out there. So
Yeah.
we could do those all day long with just
Oh my gosh, yeah.
pine joist stock.
Yeah.
Look beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, that thick Colorado style square
Yeah.
edge,
Yeah.
look is
And-
popular.
and they want that pre-finish.
Yeah.
They want that pre-finished product, and
Yeah.
that's why I've been in a lot of pre-finishing shops, and I haven't seen one with a line that long. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it takes like I think
Usually-
it's right around 3 minutes
Wow,
for a board to go from the beginning to the end of the one line.
it's impressive.
Yeah.
really is.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, that's what we do here at Olde Wood. We're excited. We're excited to have you, and I think that the future is very bright for us, and hopefully we can grow it just like you grew your last company.
It'd be great.
So thank you for watching the Olde Wood Show. We're actually going to go ahead and go to Denver real quick and maybe partake in some CBD oil or head out to a dispensary. So we'll see you next time.